Today we're out at Tropicana Golf Course playing the West 3 course from the red tee boxes. If there's one thing that's funny about golfers is that we all want to prioritize distance and being able to hit it longer, but at the same time most golfers know that the scoring zone is actually inside 100 yards or the wedge play and below, whatever distance that may be for you. So today we are going to discuss the importance of wedge play by playing a course from a distance that's going to give me basically wedges into every green. One of the reasons why I wanted to make this video today is because I got brand new wedges, and as they are different lofts from what I was playing before as well as obviously a newer model, I don't exactly know how far any of them are carrying right now. I've got 4 brand new wedges, and that is why I thought that this would be a perfect location to play off the red tees and test my wedges, because Tropicana is known for having very difficult greens where you have to be very precise in where you hit them. Hitting a good shot is not necessarily going to leave you in a good position because the greens can be very undulating and tricky, so direction wise and distance wise you have to be very accurate to give yourself birdie chances. One of the things I mentioned in the beginning is that golfers prioritize distance, but at the same time we all know that the scoring zone is where we can really gain strokes. We also know that whether it's an ego matter or whatever it may be, a lot of people don't really want to move tee boxes. If all your friends are playing off the blue tees, you're probably going to play off the blue tees as well. Even if 4 golfers are of completely different skill levels, most of the time either their friends will convince them to play off the same tees or they would just feel obligated to do so. What's funny is that even though most golfers know how important the wedge game is, not many people spend the amount of time that is necessary to produce a good wedge game. A good wedge game is obviously going to help you make lots of birdies, because if you're able to put yourself close whenever you have a wedge in hand, you're going to take a lot of pressure off yourself by presenting yourself with more birdie opportunities. However, a wedge game can also be beneficial, not only for scoring but also for saving. So for instance, if you were to hit your tee shot into the trees and had to chip out to a position on a par 4 for example, leaving yourself at a distance where you have a reliable wedge shot is going to give you a better opportunity to save par even though you were in the trees, and saving par from the trees is not only going to make you feel good, it's going to give you more confidence, and it's probably also going to rattle your opponents. Even though I'm not hitting a wedge here, I'm hitting a 9-iron, which is obviously also another scoring club. If you've played this course before, you know that today's pin position, which is on the left side far behind, is not a pin that you want to be too aggressive with. Even from this red tee box, I'm still going for the safer play, because it doesn't matter what club you have in hand, there are just some pins that you do not want to attack. Many people might think that playing from a shorter tee box means that you're going to produce an amazing score, and that is not always the case. Especially when you have a lot of wedges and short clubs into the greens, you have higher expectations on yourself as well. When you have something such as a 5-iron into a green and you're hitting an approach shot, you would be happy just to give yourself a putt for birdie. Whereas when you have a wedge in hand, you're kind of expecting a birdie. So I think that being able to handle these expectations and focus on the shot at hand is also a very important practice and something that you can learn from playing a shorter, more accessible tee box. In addition to playing off the red tees being a good challenge for my wedge game, I also wanted to make it challenging for my drives as well by choosing the more aggressive tee shots. So for this hole, it's playing 303 yards. I knew that I could not go for this green. However, there is a water hazard in front there that's about 20 to 30 yards long, and the driver here is definitely not the necessary play, but like I said, I wanted to choose the more aggressive tee shot to challenge myself today. So like you can see, playing off the red tees not only can challenge your wedges but also your long game, and it is also pretty fun to try and hit these small fairways over water hazards and stuff like that and just choose the more challenging tee shots. Like I said, being aggressive with the driver definitely wasn't necessary. I've kind of left myself in a very awkward position over here, and I've brought a lot more into play just by choosing that tee shot. Given a tournament situation, I definitely would not put myself in this position because it's just a very awkward chip shot, and just with the greens, like I said at Tropicana, they are pretty tricky. So sometimes leaving yourself with a full shot rather than chip shot is actually going to give yourself a much higher chance to have a look at birdie because of how tricky these undulating greens are. Next up, we have another tricky tee shot. Again, given a tournament situation, I probably wouldn't play this shot just because it's about a 240 carry to carry the water hazard. However, with this hole, because of the water hazard being pretty large, choosing to lay up versus choosing to hit the aggressive drive definitely makes a huge difference in how you're going to approach this green. If I were to lay up before the water, I don't think I would have anything less than a 9 or 8 iron into this green, whereas over here you can see I have a pretty average wedge shot, no more than 80 yards to the green. But again, it was definitely a pretty aggressive tee shot. The water hazard's only about 20 yards behind me, and I definitely had to hit a pretty good drive just to get myself in this position. Although it wasn't a terrible approach shot, it definitely wasn't my best. I still have a lot to work with in terms of distance control with these new wedges because I really have no idea how far they're going right now. And you can clearly see, even if you have wedges into every green, it definitely does not guarantee birdies. You still need to hit good approach shots with those wedges, you still need to have very good distance control, and you still have to make those putts. So again, we have another tricky wedge shot into this tricky green. One of the things that I think people don't realize as well is wedges take a lot of finesse. Essentially, with anything inside 100 yards, you could almost interchange between 2 to 4 clubs to hit that distance. So being able to master the distances that your wedges go and how far you want each shot to go, depending on the type of shot that you're hitting, is very important. Wedges have more spin as well, so you can play the more aggressive shot. You can carry it past the pin, try to get it to spin back. You can hit a more low runner edge type shot with obviously a lower lofted club. There are many ways to get a ball to the pin when you have a wedge sort club in your hand. And therefore, knowing how to control these clubs, knowing the type of shots that you want to hit, and knowing how far each of those shots go is super important because that is the way that you're going to get birdies. If you have watched my channel for a while, you would know that I always emphasize the importance of knowing your carry distances and knowing how to hit different wedge shots and knowing how far each of those wedge shots carry, how far they're maybe going to run out or how far they're going to spin. These are the kind of things that pros practice, and it is this little accuracy in details that makes a difference in how the pros approach the scoring zone versus how people who are probably struggling with their wedges do, because you're not going to want to approach every wedge shot trying to hit them as hard as you possibly can or trying to draw or fade them, because it's going to be a lot harder. So you do want to approach them kind of differently from the rest of your game. That is also why I said that they do require a little bit of finesse, and the only way to gain finesse is to practice it. Now over here we have a par 5, and obviously playing a par 5 from the red tees, I have the advantage of being able to hit an iron into this green. But similar to what I said with the wedges, you still need to hit good shots. Most of the time when you're approaching a par 5 in 2, you have some kind of longer club in your hand. We all know that the longer clubs are harder to master, they will have a wider dispersion, so just because you can approach a par 5 in 2 does not necessarily mean that you're always going to make birdies. Over here, I hit a good shot to give myself a look at eagle, but again, like I said, it doesn't matter how long or how short a hole is, you still have to execute the shot. Over there, I hit a really good wedge shot straight at the pin, but again, like I said, it's all about distance control. Even though I hit a really good shot, I end up giving myself this putt, which is definitely not easy. And so I hope through this video you're also able to see how important distance control is throughout your golf game. I'm hitting lots of greens, I'm not hitting bad shots, but just because I don't know how far each of those clubs that I'm hitting are going, I'm not giving myself close enough birdie opportunities. I hope that after watching today's video, some of you guys might want to try out playing different tee boxes out there on the golf course. Put the ego aside, even if you don't want to go all the way to the red tees, maybe just go one tee box forward. At the end of the day, distance is just distance. A good score is a good score no matter what distance you played or what tee box you played from. And don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Think outside the box a little bit when it comes to your wedge game. Be creative. Make sure you practice those creative shots and bring it to the golf course. Work on the scoring zone and watch those scores drop. Thanks for watching, guys, and catch you guys in the next one.
Now you have to aim right, look at the flag and putt.